The Justin Barclay Show.
They've already started to feel the effects.
My costs of doing business continue to rise.
How do you have this conversation?
You pray the way I pray.
Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
So much going on this morning. We'll get to all of that online. Facebook.com/woodradio, woodradio.com. We want to start today with some interesting news out of a story I read online. Money Magazine says that now may be the best time to buy your house. It's time to get cooking. Buy now, not later is the title of the article. Kevin Yoder joins us right now. You probably heard Kevin's name before. You've probably seen it all over town. He said, you sell 300 houses this year? Is that what you said? What's the number?
That's our focus this year. That's our goal, actually. 350 homes.
350 homes this year. So you've probably seen Kevin's name on a. Grab that microphone right there, Kevin. And so you're familiar with the market. You pretty much know where things are going and where things have been. Is this article right? Is now the best time to buy?
That's a great question. I pulled the article, looked at the numbers they presented, and you know what? They're dead on. And the reasons why they're citing here is that we've kind of hit a sweet spot where interest rates remain low. They're really low if you look at a 30-year average. And then home prices haven't yet quite escalated to the peak point, so they're still affordable. It's coming down to affordability. And in West Michigan, homes are very affordable. You couple that with low interest rates, and it's just the best time to buy. And it's not a sales pitch either. It's just the truth.
So we've got, maybe folks that are, looking at their first home. Maybe they're looking to get into their first home. Or you got folks that are saying, you know what, our family has outgrown this place, and it's time for us to look at a bigger home. We need a couple more things. You probably see that type of thing quite a bit, don't you?
Justin, I do. I see it every day, actually. So the conversations that I'm having with current owners that are thinking of selling someday for those exact reasons, up, to increase the size of their home for family, et cetera, and they're thinking maybe they'll wait. And they're waiting because they want to get some more value out of their home. But this is really a conversation of looking at more than just the current home's value, but looking at all the other variables, such as interest rates right now, and the future values of those properties that you could potentially buy. So you look at the whole thing and you say, okay, well, what are the interest rates today? What will they be? The example they cited in Money Magazine was that if you take a home priced at $250,000 today and you say, okay, what is this going to look like in a year and a half? Well, that'll be about a $261,000 home. Interest rates will not be 4.4. They'll be more like 5.5. You combine those together, that same home will cost you an extra $2,400 a year or $30,000 in a decade. Now, does it make sense to hold on to get an extra $5,000 out of your value of your home? The answer is no. But a lot of folks don't think of it that way. They look at just their current home and what their home value is today. I'm
going to put this link to the website, woodradio.com, so you can actually see this article as well. Greg's going to put that up right now at woodradio.com, keyword Justin, so you can take a look. I know we were just talking about this on the air. The market has been, or off the air, but before you came on, Kevin, the market has been just so tough for a lot of folks trying to sell their homes. They've been stuck, you said, for 7 years, a lot of folks.
Right. Yeah. So the market peaked in West Michigan in 2005. We were kind of first in around across the country as far as the decline, and then we really bottomed out in 2012. 2013, last year, was the first time we've seen any sort of appreciation. So that's a 7-year decline. A lot of equity was lost.
Yeah.
And for a lot of folks that had to sell, they couldn't. They were stuck. And so it really starting to see some good appreciation, and it's a great thing to see. So folks that they're not stuck anymore, for the most part, most people can sell or at least break even.
So if I want to sell my home and things are heating up right now, and I'm thinking it's time to get into something else, we've outgrown. What is the first step? Like what is the next thing that I should consider, or the next thing I should do, other than maybe giving you a phone call? What are some of the things I should at least think about?
Right. Yeah. Of course, I'd love to just tell you to just give me a phone call. But actually, the first step that a lot of people don't think about is to call your mortgage professional. Get pre-approved, because if you're calling me to sell your home, I will sell your home, and I intend to do so quickly and for top dollar. That's great. But by the way, have you been pre-approved yet? Because you need to have that up front to be able to determine how much you can afford on your next home. And that step usually is missed, and we have to educate the home seller, soon-to-be buyer, that they have to really get with their mortgage professional, get with someone you trust, whether it's with your bank or another mortgage company. Get pre-approved first, and it's setting your home selling experience up for success, so you know where you're going, right?
Then you kind of have like a ballpark to play in and say, okay, we're pre-approved for this amount. I know that we can look in this area, basically.
Absolutely. Then when we do the market analysis for your property, we're giving you an estimated net proceeds. You'll know how much money you have to work with to be able to purchase the home that you've been pre-approved up to. It's just the logical way to do it.
This kind of experience can be, I remember when I bought my first home, and I had no idea what I was doing. You know what I mean? It was like I was excited, but it can be really scary for folks, too. What are some of the things that, you can say maybe to people that, you can help them kind of calm them through the process? And because what you said earlier about the education process, I mean, that really is what it's all about, right? The more you know, the more comfortable you're going to feel and the better off you'll be. Yeah,
absolutely. Justin, the truth is that most people move very infrequently. So let's just say it's an average of, they say 5 years. It's usually 10 years or less, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, you're not experienced in this area. You haven't done it in a long time. Technology has changed. Interest rates have changed. Home values have changed. And the way it was done before isn't the way it's done now. So the best thing you can do is align yourself with a real estate professional with experience and perspective, because the things that we bring to the table, the biggest thing I can do is provide perspective. So I can say, look, I've been doing this for 12 years. I've seen 3 market conditions within that 12-year time. I can tell you the way it was before in 2005, right? I can give you some perspective to where it is now, so you have some contrast. So just align yourself with the very best in the industry, and that they're going to be able to give you that really good advice you need and guide you through the process.
So let's talk about some of those things. How do you identify? How do you find, the best person, somebody that is knowledgeable, and somebody like yourself, Kevin? What do what are some of the things you should look for?
Well, as they say, word of mouth, and if you're doing something world class for a seller or a buyer, the word gets out. And so now with social media, Facebook, Twitter, you can use those searches. Google. I mean, if you type in just simple keywords, number one agents, top agents in the area, you will find their presence, and you will find client testimonials. And dig further, get into their website, start to pay attention to client testimonials, because no one's going to say something great about you or your service if it wasn't great. You can't hide behind that anymore. Not with the internet these days.
That's for sure.
And then the other thing is if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, if you want to look at your listing agent, well, find out how much inventory they have. It's a key indicator. Pull up a profile, like on Grand Rapids Association Realtors website. You can pull up any agent you want to and click on their listings. If they have one listing, well, that's an indication to you this is somebody that a lot of people are not entrusting.
Yeah.
In their home. So basically, if you have a lot of listings, it's an indication that you are somebody that the population in the area is trusting to get their home sold.
Kevin Yoder joins us right now, talking about Money Magazine. The article, if you haven't seen this, came out last week. Says buy now, not later. We're talking about why right now is the best time to buy, and along with that, probably a good time to sell, so that if you do want to get into a bigger home, something that your family's outgrown, maybe it's a time to do that. Kevin, again, let's just go through this, walk kind of through this one more time, so that, if somebody's just joining us right now, they know exactly, because the math that you made a clear case out of this article, the math that you just put together for us. Why is it, again, why is right now the best time to buy, hands down? Why should you not even wait another year, not even 12 months? Maybe to get a little bit more out of your house. You said people might think that's a good idea, but there's a really convincing argument when you put the numbers together why that just does not work out for you.
Yeah, it's twofold. So again, to reiterate, it's low interest rates currently hovering in the mid 4s, which combined with affordable housing Usually one of these two variables is out of step. So we'll begin to see an increase in probably both of those, right? Or it's very likely interest rates will be a percentage higher by this time next year, okay? So that's the one. And then two, as the economy begins to improve, home values will improve as well, okay? So we're going to see an increase in that area. And if interest rates go up even more than forecasted, then it's going to impact that even more. When you look at purchasing a home, it comes down to one thing, and that's affordability. A lot of people get hung up on the actual price, but remember, it comes down to what is my payment and can I afford it? To finance, so to give you some real numbers that you can grab a hold of, to finance $1,000 on a home with interest rates where they are, it's $4 a month. So somebody can finance an extra $10,000 right now for $40, right? That's not enough usually to impact one's budget.
Yeah.
So money is just dirt cheap right now, and you combine that with affordable housing, especially in West Michigan, and it's just the time.
Now, we had a problem a while back where it was tough for money may have been cheap, but it was tough for people to get access to it. How's that coming along now? Is that improved?
That's a great question. You hear rumors that money is hard to get and financing is tight. Well, there are restrictions that are around today that weren't there before, but they're for the right reasons. And from where I sit, it's not that difficult. Just, if you have credit that is good, which you should have good credit. So if that's the excuse that's being made for making money hard to get, well, can you blame them? You have to have good credit. It's going to lead to being able to afford your payment and so on.
Mm-hmm. That's a big issue and a part of this. Who would you suggest that somebody, because I imagine you deal with a lot of different folks in the community here. Kevin Yoder joins us as we talk about why today, right now, is the best time to buy a house, and you don't even want to wait 12 months, he said. Yoderteam.com, Kevin Yoder. So who would you suggest talking to if somebody may have some issues, they find they've tried to get pre-approved like you suggested before they start shopping? Best step is, you said, get pre-approved for your mortgage. Maybe they found they have some issues with their credit. Do you deal with anybody? You know anybody? Can you recommend in the community somebody can work with and talk to you about? Hey, I got to get this thing back on track. I want to see if I can get some things fixed up here.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So you do want to seek out that mortgage professional, somebody that cares, and somebody that has a program that can get you back on track. And that's a lot of people are in that situation. So maybe you're only 6 months away from getting to that minimum credit score that you need to get into that favorable rate. Okay, because there's going to be certain levels and certain benchmarks that you need to breach in order to get into those favorable rates. And I work with a couple just dynamic loan officers in the area that we send our clients to for pre-approvals every day. And I'd be happy to make that recommendation. You want me to give you that here on the air or off the air?
Sure, that's fine, yeah. On the air is good.
Yeah, so a gentleman I work with, and I've been doing this for 12 years, so I have, as you can imagine, a lot of loan officers coming my way asking me to do business with them and refer their clients.
Oh, yeah.
And this is somebody that I've used for my personal finances. And selling a home this past summer and buying another property. So I've used that person, if it gives you some indication as to my trust level with him.
Yeah.
So I go with John Seville with Benchmark Mortgage. You can Google that. And been in the business longer than I've been in real estate. Top notch and very professional. Rates, by the way, interest rates are going to be pretty much the same. You're going to look at beyond that. A lot of people want to shop rates just like they want to shop commissions, but the mortgage interest rates are pretty similar, but it's beyond that. It's the service, it's the turn times, how quickly can the loan get done.
Yeah.
And that matters to me because when I sell your home, I want to make sure the loan officer that's on the buyer, that's working with the buyer, has their act together. Can they get this closed within the parameters that we've defined in the purchase agreement? Okay, so John is the guy that I would recommend. John Seville with Benchmark Mortgage.
Very good. John Seville, Benchmark Mortgage. We'll make a note of that, too. Again, Kevin Yoder, Yoderteam.com. Now is the best time to buy a house if you've been thinking about it. Now, Kevin, maybe there's some question that we didn't answer. Somebody has something that's maybe beyond what we covered today. I'm sure you'd be happy to answer that for them. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Great. Yeah, the best way to reach me is at the office number, which is 616-942-2449, 616-942-2449. 2449. And another place that they can get valuable insight to what's happening in the real estate market, very timely, is my video blog site I've created. It's Kevin Yoder, my name, .tv. And here I'm putting out video real estate blogs about every 3 weeks, and the topics that I'm covering and answering questions that I get every day. So people ask me questions every day, just like you are today, Justin.
Sure.
I'm putting them back in the form of a video blog answering the questions. So it's very much relevant to what I'm getting.
So chances are you're answering a question in that video blog that we haven't even thought of, or that you may not even know you needed to ask at some point, and it's covered right there.
Absolutely.
All right, KevinYoder.tv for the video blog, and YoderTeam.com for the website. Kevin Yoder, thank you so much for joining us today. It is fascinating. Money Magazine did the article, the story, I believe it came out last week. Now's the best time to buy. And Kevin makes a really good point for why this article makes sense. It's spot on. You need to buy now, otherwise you're going to be paying too much down the road. So if you've been thinking about it, if you've been thinking about maybe the first house, the first home, or you're thinking about the family's outgrown this one and it's time to move up, well, it's time to get a hold of somebody. Kevin is obviously a great resource for this, and you would recommend yourself. But you're probably your tips for pointing out the person that you want to identifying the person you want to work with. A lot of that can be answered on your video blog, I'm sure. Can you give us quickly 3 just to find the best person to work with? Because you mentioned some of these earlier this hour.
So you're saying as far as try to find the best agent to work with?
Yeah, the best person to work with as far as selling your home and maybe finding that, because my wife and I kind of looking, we love the area that we're at, but we're looking, trying to. I wouldn't even know where to start. Where do I go? What do I look at? Things like that.
So if you can tell if there's somebody that is a neighborhood expert.
Yeah, that
would be a good way to go, right? If someone has a lot of presence in your neighborhood, if you've seen a lot of for sale signs that turn into sold signs,
yeah,
you're leaning into a strategy that can be duplicated. Okay. If they did it for your neighbor and you talk to your neighbor, well, that's an obvious one, right?
Yeah.
And so beyond that, you just look at those online resources, do your homework. I have so many people that come to me and they say. And I'll get into the presentation with them, and they'll say, you know what, just stop. I've already done my homework. I already know I'm in good hands, so we can just kind of forego that. Let's get right into telling me what my home is worth so we can sign up with you.
Yeah.
So there's just so many resources out there right now. It's not too hard to find who is the one or the team that can help you at a high level, but make sure there's a presence. Make sure this is a team or an individual that is doing a lot of business, because the more you do, this isn't just about selling a lot of homes, right? But the more you do something, you get to mastery, and then you can do it in your sleep, right? So look for someone that's doing a lot of volume.
Is anybody doing more than the Yoder team right now? I mean, I know that's probably an easy question, but 350 homes this year, that's quite a bit.
Well, there's a lot of great agents in the area, and I'm not saying that we're the best team. We have a high standard, and we believe in delivering world-class service, and we have friendly competition with other agents in the area.
Yeah.
And I will just say this, that 2014 is our year. It's our benchmark year, and look out, good things are coming.
Got some big goals. All right, well, thank you. And his goal is to get you into the home of your dreams, and it sounds like get yours sold for top dollar as well. Kevin Yoder, thanks for joining us. YoderTeam.com, the website. Again, I saw this last week, and I thought we had to talk to an expert. Thank you for joining us, Kevin Yoder.
Thanks, Justin.
Money Magazine says right now the best time to buy. News Radio Wood 1300, 106.9 FM. The Justin Barclay Show continues on Wood Radio.